guys, welcome back to Overtakes. This is Kel.
And this is Misfit.
And we are here with our power rankings for Week 2 of Stage 2 of the 2019 Overwatch League season. First, we're going to start off with some of the news that has dropped this week. Not too much news going on, but it is a big deal. Washington Justice GM Kate Mitchell is going to retire after Stage 2.
I kind of read a little bit about that. She's moving on. She wants to get more into the writing and creative side of the gaming. Mm-hmm. And if you guys remember, I mean, she's been the center of the whole Washington controversy since the Harsha thing went down. Her and, there was reports from her. There was a whole lot of drama that we normally don't talk about.
Yeah.
But this is pertinent because it's, part of the Justice organization where, she's in charge of personnel and all that kind of stuff. As far as I know, there was a lot of harsh things said and there's a lot of things going back and forth, and it was a who do you believe? And it was people that have dropped off the face of the planet, to be brutally honest.
Right.
Ghosted the scene. So I don't know, or were unceremoniously removed. I have no idea, but that dude's on a milk carton right now. It sucks if you're getting roasted on Reddit every 5 minutes,
Right. I mean,
but that being said, though, their roster's garbage.
Right.
Not to be harsh, but
I mean, they've won one game this entire stage or this entire season so far, and you're lucky you even won that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, their roster is just, from the beginning, it's been a mess.
And it's been questioned since minute one.
Yeah.
I know the whole thing was, well, we got Wizard, and we're going to just bring people in that he can coach up. But you know what? There's only a certain thing you can do with the talent that you have. I mean, it's not like all these... It's hard to tell, too, with the GOATs thing, because you don't know really how bad they are. They're terrible at GOATs. We know that.
Oh, yeah.
When there's some DPS, they're all right.
The other thing with it is, you knew what the meta was going to be, so you should have known what you needed to build coming into it. But then also, your scouting wasn't good enough in the sense of, okay, well, you don't have players with characteristics that you can coach up. Yeah. Is the problem. That's the stark difference between them and Boston, for instance, where you look at Boston's team and you're just who are any of these guys? But as a team, they make it work because the traits that those guys have
are good player traits.
Exactly. You can make them better at the other things, but if there's certain things that you can't coach. Yeah,
and the mayhem. It goes nothing against what the guys, how the guys are as people. But the Mayhem are going along the same path where they're picking up rejects. Mm-hmm. There's reasons why these guys were on B squads and on bad contenders teams and benched. They're not great.
Right, and there's a difference between picking up bad players and picking up unknown players.
Right, Boston's picking up.
Excels at.
Boston's picking up players you haven't heard of from the EU or Brazil or the guy they just picked up from Persia. He was playing in the Pacific. They're picking up people that you don't necessarily know. They're not picking up guys with bad track record.
And that's the ultimate downfall for them. But that's really all there is to say about it. So it's a mess of a roster, and she's done. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, exactly. Let's dive into this. So we're gonna do this like we did last week. We're gonna go 3 at a time, and we're gonna focus on one team in the bunch of 3 because we spent some time talking about. Tune into our stream because we spent a lot of time on teams and matches and things we liked and we didn't like, and we touched on a lot of teams on Sunday night, and we also have the video too if you want to watch the recap of it. But definitely tune into the back cap on Sunday night where we talk about matches, how teams looked. What we liked, what we didn't like. We went into a lot of things, but we're going to start doing one team out of the batch of 3 that we want to talk about that maybe we didn't talk about at all. So, and we're of course varying, greatly this week.
Yeah.
Well, in certain spots. The middle is, I think, Mr. X, and it was pretty harsh, kind of. He said, top table of the Overwatch League is so much better than the mid-tier teams that it's a joke. Essentially, I'm paraphrasing. It's not the exact quote, but I kind of agree with him in a way.
He's not wrong.
No, because when they play each other, like there's no chance.
Right.
You can even throw the gladiators in right now into that mix, the way they've been playing a little bit. They're a little bit more suspect than maybe a couple of the other teams that are in there. I'm spoiling our the top tier, I guess. Right. Oh no. Sorry.
Oh, no. Because they're going to know what the top 3 teams in the league are from us. Like, we haven't, like, that hasn't changed at all.
Yeah. The next thing I'm going to do is tell you people are going to die in Game of Thrones next week. Watch, it'll be one of those episodes where nobody dies.
Yeah, probably. They're just going to save it all for the finale.
Yeah, so hyped. Ned's going to come back from the dead and lead the fucking White Walkers and kill everybody.
Right.
How you like me now, bitches? Well, they finally found Gendry. Anyway, all right, I can't keep going. I thought it was going to end with Gendry just landing on the shore going, hey guys, what's going on? I've been rowing for like 6 years.
Right.
I gotta get some leg work in. All right, we're putting this off. All right, my bottom 3 and your bottom 3 are close.
Yes.
I have the Valiant, the Washington Justice, and the Charge.
I have the Valiant, the Justice, and the Mayhem.
Okay.
I see where you're going with the Charge.
They dropped 12 spots for me, or 11.
Let's talk about them, because, I mean, how much more can we say about the Valiant and the Justice? Like, they're both
and the Mayhem, too,
fighters,
right?
And the Mayhem. Like, they are all horrible teams.
Yeah.
They just look... There's so many
Florida looked a little bit better, though, I will say that. And so did Washington.
Yes, but they both have just, like, the talent above them just really is what is going to impede them from doing anything else.
Let's talk about the Charge. So, they look good in Stage 1. And it wasn't like they had an easy schedule, either.
Right.
But they have, I believe it's in their last 3 matches, they've won 1 map. That's atrocious.
That's really bad.
I mean, Washington's done better than that.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it is. It was like they were gelling. They had this cohesion that was going on. And now it's just a fucking hot mess.
Yeah. I mean, from top to bottom, everyone is underperforming and then some.
And then now they're doing the panic roster flipping guys are like in and out.
Yeah.
Which I don't mind with DPS, but some of the other stuff you're going, they're starting to do that shit. Yeah, they just look, there's so many like where you're just it's like covering your eyes going, oh fuck, what are you doing?
Right. Like, why? Like, is this the competitive game that I've just played?
Yeah, and you're going, you're not going to do that. You're not. Nope. Yep. You're doing that, and you're dead.
You just did that. Okay.
You just did that, and wow.
Did you look at the kill feed?
Yeah, yeah. There was just, and it was one of those teams that it took me a little bit to get on board with them. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm like, I don't know. This roster it's got mixed languages. I don't necessarily like it. And then they started winning me over because they were playing really well, you know, and they were fun to watch. And I assumed once they got into a meta where they could play DPS, they would at least look competitive.
Yeah.
They've just looked horrible.
Yeah, they somehow look worse. I mean, to be fair, they played one of the top tier teams in the league that is on a mission this week. So that definitely didn't help, but oof.
Yeah, still.
They look rough.
Take a point. They, like I said, they haven't won a map, I think, in 3 matches, maybe 4. Because getting curb stomped they got curb stomped by Paris, didn't they?
Yes, they got curb stomped by Paris.
That's the concerning thing with me.
Yeah.
And it's not that Paris is god awful, but
right.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
this is supposed to be, you're supposed to be better at this meta, especially then later in the weekend you watch Chengdu just absolutely fucking smack them. Paris, that is. Right. Paris had no clue what they were doing, and you think that would be the same with the Charge because they run this similar types of comps with, Wrecking Ball and Pharah, and, they kind of mix you up a little bit. I thought it would have worked out, but god damn, they look so bad.
It's really baffling that they look this poor now. Like, all of a sudden, like, I really thought that they would have a chance to be a lot better after, like you said, like, to get the opportunity to actually play some DPS characters, because they have some really good DPS players, but...
Yeah, I mean, you got Happy and you got Eileen, and you have other guys that are good, too. It did not work. It seemed more disjointed than it did in the first couple weeks of the first stage. When you think it would have been worse.
Yeah, it's just... Oof, it's rough. So yeah, that's...
As far as the other teams,
I had them up a little higher. We'll get them into the next thing for me. But I totally feel you on that. This team looks like a total train wreck.
Yeah, and it's one of those. It's baffling to me. There's time to turn it around.
Right, and that's the one thing I have for them is, like, because they were starting to, like, really come together. In stage 1, like, that's why I'm a little hesitant to drop them down too far.
Yeah, the scary thing is, though, is they're in the Pacific, where you got 3 to 4 of the top 5, 6, top 10 teams.
Yeah.
You better start picking it up.
It's not looking good for them.
Yeah. Okay, let's hit...
So for our bottom that's our bottom 3. So for 17 through 15... Who did you have?
17 through 15, I have the Hangzhou Spark, which, whatever happened to them. Apparently, Hangzhou translates to Scrimbucks. By default, the Houston Outlaws move up a couple spots.
Hey, they do.
Yay, Houston.
Well, you had Florida, the Spark, and then the Outlaws.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, there's a reason why I didn't mention the other team.
Yeah.
But that being said, they did look better.
I will give you that. So for me, I had...
Garbage looks better than sewage. It's still garbage.
Right? I had Hangzhou, Houston, and Guangzhou. We already talked about Guangzhou.
Yeah.
There's really nothing to talk about with Houston because we haven't seen them play yet, but they did move up for both of us because... They didn't play, so they didn't lose.
Yeah. And they didn't anger us in any way.
Right. But let's talk about the Spark. What is happening with this team?
I mean, granted they played Vancouver.
Yes.
But you could have put up a fight. It took till King's Row, kind of, where they had that one, they did the initial push, and you're like, all right, they got a good time bank going here. They kind of didn't roll them, but they moved the cart pretty good. After there was like a couple of picks, I think they got Hoxall and somebody else in the start, and they got a snowball going. I'm like, all right, this is Hangzhou. This is what I was expecting, and then they got absolutely fucking bitch slapped.
Yeah,
they got
100%. Like, that's the thing with this team is like, and then they've kind of been in a free fall. Since the first 2 games of the season.
Yeah. Yeah. When everyone was doing I told you so.
Yes, exactly. And they just... I mean, they've won, what?
One
game since then?
Out of their last 5? And
no, 1 game out of their last 6 now.
Yeah.
With this game. Because they won their first 2 games.
Yeah. They only played once this week.
Yeah.
So,
but they played
7. Oh, yeah, so it's 8.
Yeah.
My math skills are terrible today.
But still, it's like, what is going on with this team? Like, and it doesn't look like they're getting any better. Is what really concerns me.
And Monty kept bringing this up, and I believe it was on Kings Row. It might have been one of the other maps before that. They were trying to run the Sombra Goats, and it was not fucking working. And they just kept hammering it He's like, and whoever, I forget who was playing Sombra, but they just kept getting caught out and picked off. And he's like, they got to stop. I know he's a fan of he picked them high. So, I mean, usually when you pick somebody high, you're kind of like rooting for them. You're like, they got to stop doing this. And all that. But I was saying the same thing. I'm like, oh my God, they got to stop doing this. And I have no rooting interest in them at all.
Right. No, they look like a complete and total mess. And yeah. I think it was Godsby.
Yeah, whoever was running, terrible. Absolutely awful.
Yeah, I mean, you would hope that the meta change or just whatever.
And don't they have back-to-back with San Francisco? That's coming up, isn't it?
I think it's...
Let me look that up.
Not this week, but the next week or something. I
think it's week 3 and 4 they have...
No, that's Guangzhou.
That's Guangzhou. Well, that's not good for them.
Yeah.
And looking at their schedule, they don't really have... Yeah, I'm not liking where they could go. Well, they're in the Pacific, too.
They have an easy schedule.
Look, the teams in that mid-table in the Pacific are fucked. If they start screwing around, getting wins where... I mean, I didn't think they were going to beat Vancouver by any stretch. I thought they would give them a fight.
But yeah,
take a map?
Maybe not even, even if they don't take a map, they just didn't even look competitive in these games.
Yeah.
Even though they got points, and I feel like that was more Vancouver being whatever than it is.
Yeah, because after Vancouver did that, I mean, they were just Bumper was playing fucking Farah.
Yeah.
They had they have 6 minutes, 5 minutes in a time bank on Kings Row.
Yeah.
I think they did that, and then they were just I suppose we should win the map, so goats.
Right.
Just roll over them again.
Ridiculous. And, yeah, this team just looks like a complete mess right now. And I feel like it's, they have so much talent, but they just don't have any...
cohesion at all.
Zero chemistry with each other. There's clearly some huge communication issues.
And it feels like there's underlying stuff, and now there's probably there was the nerves thing at first, but now I think it's confidence.
Now it's press. I think they're starting to press way too hard, and it's forcing them to make bad plays. Oh yeah, and they're making really bad plays. And it's not even when you're playing goats and you get to the ult economy and all that. It's just from the start. Their engages are terrible. Oh, awful.
Yeah, when they're going on the eco push, when they're playing goats or even any other kind of thing where you're just doing the initial pokes and all that, I'm like, someone gets picked off or two people get picked off every initial fight, and it's reset time.
Yeah, it's been rough for them.
Yeah.
And they're gonna stay down there for quite a while. All right, so let's move on to 14 through 12.
14 through... Oh, we're not going to talk about the Outlaws. Damn it.
Yeah, I mean, there's really not much to say. They didn't even play this week. They moved up by default. We'll play the Simpsons clip of Homer going, Default!
That would cost us money, but there was a Simpsons episode where he was, in case you guys don't remember it, Homer was going into space, and he basically got Barney Gumble hammered and won by default. And he chanted default. So
that's defense at a football game.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Okay.
So good. But yeah, so at 14 I had Shanghai, at 13 I had Atlanta, and 12 I have Paris.
Okay, the only two we got flip-flopped were Atlanta and Paris.
Okay.
And we both had the Dragons at 14. I had Paris at one above them, in Atlanta. I don't know why I wanted to put Atlanta lower. I don't know. There's something about Atlanta. It's just, I want them to succeed. And you know how sometimes you do that and you kind of rate them a little higher. You're like, I know you can do this.
Right. Because
but they looked absolutely terrible though this week.
Yeah. After that first map, or those first two maps against Boston, which they looked really good in, after that, they just fell apart.
Was that when Baby Bass decided he's going to start pretending it's fucking Halloween when he's playing Zarya and just throwing grabs out to fucking divas?
Yeah, basically. Well, that was in the later ends of the map. In the first two, he
was actually looking good.
He looked really good, and then he was just like, "Oh, Diva, you want to eat this grav? Here you go."
You look like you need a snack. You look a little peakish.
RCK, you look like you want to eat this grav, so I'm gonna feed it to you. But and then Fury was just like, "Ooh, I'll take all of those.
I'll take all the candy."
Yeah.
It's Grav Candy. Okay, there's our new cereal, Grav Candy.
Grav Candy.
Oh, man. But, yeah, Baby Bay, I think that wasn't a bad pickup. I think, and Fried, that everybody keeps calling FRD, he looked pretty good. And Daco was, like, missing.
Yeah, Daco's MIA at this point.
Is he sick or something? I don't know. It was almost like the boombox effect with them. That's why I kind of didn't put him too low.
Right, because they're missing him. They're readjusting to not having to Fran. So I think they've got to make some adjustments and kind of figure some things out right now.
Yeah, but
if they continue to play this poorly, then obviously they're going to go lower. But I just feel like they're not going to stay at this point for very long.
Yeah, I feel the same way. It was just some of it was hard to watch, but it's new players and you forget about that too, especially when you're still playing 60% goats.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have that hard carry, like, okay, we're kind of fucking up, but someone will take over here.
Well, it also doesn't help that when they played London, London is basically just like, okay, we get a slight chance to play dive, we're going to do that.
Yeah. There you go, Prophet.
London playing dive is like the scariest thing in the world because
you forget
how good that team is at that meta. It's insane.
You forget Gesture on Winston is still the best.
Oh yeah, you look at the stats of Gesture's Winston compared to his Reinhardt, and he goes from lower tier to top 5.
Yeah.
Just by switching characters. It's insane. Like, his Winston is ridiculous.
And him and Fury together.
Yeah.
On that, when they play dive, it's a thing of beauty to watch, actually. It really is textbook dive. That's why I like watching dive meta, just stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And
I agree.
And then you just let Prophet run wild.
Right. So, going back to Atlanta,
okay, if we're going talking about
having to deal with that's insane. Like, that's a tall task for anybody. And then also, they just kind of, I don't know, Boston seems to not be taking anybody's crap anymore.
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh, you punched us in the mouth. They're like Brad Pitt in Snatch when he just gets clocked. And he just comes and just beats the ever-loving shit out of them after that. Like,
or like
does the wipes and he's just like, oh, you knocked my tooth out or whatever. Like,
he's like, like the classic, like Bruce Lee. He gets in a fight and he's getting beat a little bit, and he wipes his lip and he sees the blood and he's like, all right, now I'm ready to go.
Right.
I'm gonna whip your ass.
I think with the Brad Pitt thing, he literally spits a tooth out and then goes right back at him.
I've been in bar / mosh pit / just seedy place things where I've actually seen that.
I believe that.
Guy getting elbowed in the face at a Slayer concert and then just going, oh, that hurt. All right, where is that motherfucker?
Right. So yeah, Atlanta's got some things to work on, but they had it was a rough week.
Yeah.
They're missing. They went through a pretty big roster change now.
And style change, because playing with DeFran is a different than playing with. It would have been the same if they had somebody else, and even if they played N-Layer all the time instead of bringing in Baby Bay, it still would have been an adjustment.
I think we'll get a true read on this team this week because they play two of the worst teams in the league. They play the Valiant and the Justice. So if they can come out and crush those teams, then I think they'll be just fine.
I think Washington might give them a little bit more of a fight.
I agree.
Just because Washington can play DPS better than I thought they could.
Yes.
And Arc makes a little
Corey's
bit of
actually really good.
Yeah, and Arc makes a little bit of a difference.
He does.
He really does.
For sure.
And I think it's shot calling. I don't think they had that before. But they're still he's shot calling for trash. And it doesn't matter if he's shot calling because, sorry to go on a Washington rant, watching Ameng absolutely murder him.
Oh, God.
Fucking over and over again. I was watching that. Ameng just was owning him on fucking Oasis. It's like, dude, stop. But then one time he's like, yeah, I got away. And he went down in the hole and fucking Ameng's pile drove him through the hole in fucking university. I was like, oh, Janice.
Yeah. So I do want to talk a little bit about Paris.
Yeah, so do I.
Because this team, you know what they remind me of? The Outlaws from last year.
Oh my God.
There's times where they look fantastic and other times where they just make these decisions and you're just like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Why did you do that?
Why did you switch comps when you absolutely murdered them with the one you were running before?
Right. Like, just questionable decisions like that and having the correct... Or they have talent.
Yeah.
I think they are more talented than Houston, but they're just making decisions that are just so baffling, and I don't get it. Yeah,
and you know what though? They did look better than their alleged good meta.
Oh yeah, but I mean they got absolutely mashed by Chengdu.
They didn't know what to do with Chengdu. Chengdu was coming out with shit, and they were like, what? Like they did that fucking the Symmetra thing. They were like, what in the fuck is going on?
True. But even still, like, that still has me worried for this team.
Well, it's the fact that they didn't know they were going to run the wacky shit that scares you. I'm like, you're going up against them. You got to be ready for Wrecking Ball, Farah. You have to just be ready for anything.
Right. But they did, and on the other hand, like, they took advantage of every single mistake Guangzhou made and punished them severely for it.
They beat them into the ground.
They really did.
And that impressed me, actually, because I've been on the fence with Paris since day one when they announced their roster. Mm-hmm. Well, and it's the Houston, like you said, the Houston from last year. 2 games. One game they absolutely murder somebody, and then they get 4-0'd.
Right. And it's just like, which way are you guys going? Like, okay, you beat a really bad team, but I am excited to see what Soon and Shadowburn can do when they get to play together, because I do think that works really well, and those guys really complement each other when they get to play proper DPS.
Yeah. I thought they were... it's going to be fantastic, because actually Shadowburn looked good on Farah. I was a little like... And then he went off on Guangzhou a couple times, especially on, what was that, Eichenwald.
Yeah.
He just... What do you have? He had like a 5K, couple of them.
And as much as Soon is still a very good player.
Yeah,
I think he's one of those guys that he's very streaky, but when he gets hot, like he is unbeatable.
Yeah, it's like he's almost got to get warmed up. Yeah, he's like that wide receiver in football that, in order to keep him in the game, you got to throw him that ball in the first drive, whether he catches it or not. You
have to force the ball to him. Early, or else he gives you nothing. Type of guy.
He's like that. Like he gets like on Tracer or something like that early. He gets like rolling and he gets going and he looks great. Or Widowmaker or whatever. Although, who was it? Someone fucking hooked him like he was trying to sneak around.
Oh yeah.
Nako. Was it Nako? Yeah. Oh, that was the Washington match. That was Corey.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Corey tried to do the fucking grapple thing. Yoink. Anyway, so Paris was good and bad in the same week. So, and they're right in the same area as the Outlaws in both of our rankings, more or less.
Right. I mean, they're a little bit higher because I do think that they're slightly more talented, but we'll see how Houston plays once they actually play.
Yeah, and we talked enough about the Dragons too on Sunday and stuff with their problems. So. Yeah. They didn't look terrible, but they didn't look good, which has pretty much been the story of their season.
Right.
Thanks a lot for joining us. That was our power rankings. don't forget to join us on Sunday. We are going to have our picks. I'll rapid fire those out for you tomorrow or today. Later on today, you'll get them probably before the matches. Well, definitely before the matches. Don't forget to hit a like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. Please rate us if you're listening to us on iTunes or any of the podcatcher kind of things. Also, hit us up if you'd like to support us on Patreon. There's a link down below in the description. We have different tier of stuff. Unfortunately, I have stuff to do tomorrow, or I would have treated you guys to me watching Paris play the Mayhem. I will do that. That's going to go, things like that are going to go up there. I'm starting to do I'm trying to learn how to do VOD reviews. So I want to review them, and I need people to review my reviewing, if that makes any sense. See if I see, the same thing you guys do. I want to learn how to do this a little bit better. Anyway, and we're going to do some other stuff there. There's going to be some outtakes because we've been recording stuff, and who knows what else is going to show up. Maybe us playing quick play videos.
Yeah.
If you want to see some really crazy shit. 1 o'clock in the morning, half drunk and other things. Anyway.
Yeah.
You guys have a good afternoon, evening, and enjoy the matches, and we will see you Sunday night for the back cap.
Catch you guys in the next one. Later.